Hi, I'm Jess Morris, a CARES navigator at Alliance for Living, and I'm here to facilitate signs and symptoms of an overdose and how to reverse an overdose with naloxone. What is naloxone? Naloxone is a life-saving medication that you can get without a prescription. It only reverses opioid overdoses. So when in doubt, give it out, because you're not going to hurt anybody. If say that they're just super drunk and you don't know whether they have done an opioid or not, give the medication, because it is harmless. If you do not have opioids, it will just do its job. The opioids is what it's after. What are some symptoms of an overdose? If you see somebody that is unresponsive, kind of, nodding in and out of consciousness, not responding to their name or touch, if they have pinpoint pupils, if they have blue or gray skin or lips, loud or uneven gurgling sounds, it's likely that they have, that they're overdosing. You want to call 911 as soon as you find somebody in this state. But it is most important before you leave, if the person is alone, to put them in the recovery position, which is on their side, so that they don't aspirate. You call 911, you let them know that it's a possible opioid overdose. Once you have 911 on the phone and you're back to the person, you want to put them back on their back if you had to put them in the recovery position. The important thing is to get the medication in the person, right? So I'm not here to do a CPR training, but I will say that, 911 can help you do the rescue breathing. You want to give a couple breaths before you give the medication if possible, but if not, just give the medication. That's the most important part. It's like a little plunger. You put it in one side of the nostril and push it up. Once you've gotten back to the person that's overdosed, you want to administer the first dose of naloxone, and you're going to have to wait 2 to 3 minutes, and it will be the longest 2 to 3 minutes of your life, because it's scary and time seems to freeze. But it is important to give the medication time to work. If there is no response after 2 to 3 minutes, you can then give another dose of naloxone. Hopefully by the second dose, EMS will be on their way or there. Like I said, it is completely harmless. My toddler son could get a hold of it and play with it, and nothing's going to happen to him because he doesn't have opioids in his system. The Narcan attaches to the opioid receptors that are flooded with the opioid, whether it's the pain medication, fentanyl, heroin, which mostly now is all fentanyl, right? It attaches and it pulls all those the opioids off of the brain. But the tricky part about naloxone is how great it works. Because it's so fast acting, it is not long acting. So the opioids last longer than the naloxone, and sometimes that's why you need a second dose. So if somebody say they come out of the overdose with the first shot of naloxone, great. Well, you need to really watch this person, because there is a high likelihood that they can re-overdose and they may need another dose. And that's why we strongly urge that nobody be left alone after they overdose. And you are at most risk of overdose after an overdose. So if you have past overdoses, you are more likely to overdose again. So that's something to be, mindful of. We also encourage that nobody uses alone. That's another reason why it's so important that we don't use alone, so that somebody is there if we overdose, and we can, have the chance of reversing that overdose. There is a Good Samaritan law to protect people, so I don't want anybody to feel that they can't call 911 for their loved one out of fear that they may be arrested for having drugs or paraphernalia on them, because there is laws to protect you, and it is the Good Samaritan law, and police are not allowed to question you or search you when you're calling, because of an overdose. So it's important to know your rights there as well. There's a lot of myth about, people are super aggressive when they come out of an overdose, and they're angry and they're mean. And, although those things can be true, we need to try and be mindful of where that person is coming from. I mean, they just literally came back from death. So their anxiety and adrenaline is rushing. So it's important to give them space when they first come out of the overdose. Hopefully 911, can assist with that area. But I just don't want people to be fearful, like, you know, to help somebody because of either being arrested or because this person's going to be so angry or whatever. Like, it's better for them to be angry and alive than, you know, gone because somebody was too fearful to take action.